All right, good morning, everyone. We're going to get into these stock charts. I'm going to show you guys what I'm seeing, and I'm going to hopefully we'll find some winners here. Real quick, I wanted to point out the if you're not getting my community posts, hit the bell icon. I put posts out about action items or triggers that I see that I just can't get into a video. You know, videos, when I put these out, they take me 10, 15 minutes, and then it takes YouTube about 15 or 20 minutes for me to be able to upload that video. So basically, if you want to get the most, the quickest reactions or the quickest insight from me, if I see something that's actionable, and typically when I put these out, I'm taking a trade. And this is about when I'm taking a trade. So I put it out on a community post right here. So feel free to hit the bell icon on my channel and you'll get these. So on this community post, I mentioned that the Nasdaq was breaking an uptrend line. The Nasdaq futures was breaking an uptrend line. So here's what I was watching all day yesterday. I had the Nasdaq and the SPY futures, and I was watching them. We had this bearish rising wedge right here on the Nasdaq. It broke first. So here was the breakdown right there on that bearish rising wedge. See it right there? We broke, but it wasn't going anywhere. And the reason why is the SPY futures, they didn't break yet. So they were continuing to move higher. Finally, they broke right at the end of the day. So there's the break. There's what I put out the post. So we had the Nasdaq futures break. We had the SPY futures break. And so I took a short on triple Qs yesterday at the close, and so far that's worked out well. Now I've already covered it, so the trade's already gone in my so I'm just pointing it out. But again, it came down, looked like it was going to fill the gap. This gap's too widely watched, so I didn't think they were actually going to fill the gap with it's just too clean of a gap to just come right down and fill it. This gap will get filled on some random impulsive move, but the day after the gap's made, it's just too obvious, I think, to actually fill the gap. Too many traders watching it, so they make it look like they're going to fill the gap, and then they buy it up and reverse it. So I think we're going a little higher in triple Qs. Triple Qs, if I look at the daily here, is potentially setting up to break to all-time new highs. Now we've got this green trend line right here, which is that's the trend line from 2020 that we were uptrending in. We could run up and tag that. If we do it soon, and it's completely possible, it's up there a ways too. I'd have to extend my chart out, but I don't know if we're going to get that high. And, honestly, if I had to bet on it, I don't think we're going to. It's just way up there, 10%. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get that high. But, of course, we could. But even if we just make a run towards that, and let me adjust my chart here, and we break above, say, this 303.86. Now, that's not that far away. 303.86 is only, 3% up. So let's say we make a 3% move higher, 3.5% move higher from here. If we do it soon, we're going to have negative daily divergence on the triple Qs. That's something we don't have right now, so that's why I don't like any like swing shorts, just pullback shorts that I'll put out. But swing shorts on the triple Qs, I'm not really interested in until we start to put in that negative divergence. So if we go a little higher, 3.5%, and then start to turn down, that'll be negative divergence on the daily chart, and that would be where we'll start to really look for the next big move to the downside in triple Qs. Same with the SPY. I've got this purple line marked out, lots of lines going on. But basically, if we break above and we just make this 358.77 right above there slightly, then that will also be a divergent high. So if we get it soon, it'll look something like this. Let me clean these up. And then you'll have negative divergence on the RSI, and we'll have a slightly new marginal high. And then that's where we'll start to look for the next swing shorts. And here's IWM, probably the same with the IWM. And this one might be one of the better ones to short when it starts to turn down. It's definitely been the weakest indice. But again, if we don't, we could go up a little higher and put in, negative divergence. I don't know if IWM's going to get it, though, because IWM's got to get up there a little bit more. It's got to get up there around 172.98. From here, that's a move of, let's see, yes, about 4.5%, 5%. So could get there, but we'll see how the other indices play out. Just watch them all three together. That'll give you kind of a read in terms of whether this one's going to do that or not. Gold had that breakout yesterday, so yeah, gold has broken out. If we get a pullback down to support, maybe around, if you look at the hourly here, well, I guess this trend line here, probably some sort of a back test of the trend line, would be a potential objective area to go long. However, we have to watch this because this could be a false breakout. Yes, it is a breakout for sure, and that's what it is as of right now. If it comes back in for a back test, and that's still fine, that's an objective area to go long. However, let's see how these indices play out. If they put in those marginal new highs and then reverse and start to move down impulsively, the dollar might catch a bid and gold might end up selling off. And this might have proved to be kind of a bear trap, a bull trap. Doesn't mean that's how it's going to play out. As of right now, it is a breakout. Gold bullion also put in negative divergence here on the hourly chart. You can see right there you've got some negative divergence while price made a new slightly higher high, telling me that this short term runs over. We're going to get some sort of a pullback, at least back down to this trend line. So again, those are some scenarios I'm playing out or watching. Run here is backtesting its former support, which is resistance. I suspect they're going to backtest it a little while, kind of tag this. This feels very familiar to that PHM setup. So what I'm seeing here on the daily chart, big bearish negative divergence on the daily for the RSI and the PPO. And so we broke right there. Here's our trendline support right there. We broke trendline support. And you're coming in for a back test. So I suspect they're going to tag it a couple times, keep moving it a little higher, making it look like price is moving higher. But really, we know if we're following, the trading strategy, that it is back testing and most likely going to turn down. So if you want to get familiar with my trading strategy and learn how to make these calls and analyze the charts and how to actually manage your risk, take my training course. It's in the link in the description below. So run to me is an objective short here. I took a short and I will probably add to this as it backtests. I would most likely stop out right here above this breakdown candle. So if we get all the way up there, let's say up around 72.70, then I'd probably stop out. Because if we get that close and there's this big breakdown candle, most likely we're going to break the all-time highs. And we could break the all-time highs, and if it does it on the daily chart and it does it soon, it's probably going to continue the negative divergence. So might be an opportunity. I'll have to watch this one. If it's still backtesting the trend line from underneath and it breaks to new all-time highs and makes a marginal new high right at resistance, that would be a potential objective area. So I'm going to watch this. Maybe I'll add to this as we start to work our way higher. And if we get all the way up here, that'd be kind of the last area I would add. And then I would expect it to break down. I just don't know if it's going to get all the way up there. Redfin here is also kind of interesting. You can see it's backtesting its broken support line. So here is where it held support for a while. Broke. We're backtesting. This is an objective area to short. So I took a short on this one as well this morning. You can see here on the daily chart, continuing the negative momentum. So it's no longer diverging. There's no longer negative divergence because price has now started to move down, and price is now moving with momentum. But I think we can come down and hit this 31.58 level, and then we'll watch to see where that thing goes after that. But from here down to there, 33, 32%. Yep, I'm looking for that, so I like that one. Short there. Qualcomm here, still at resistance up here in this area. They're going to probably keep it around this area. They could pop above it and do that fake out move that they like to do when there's an upward price channel. They rip it to the upside and then break it down. I'm still short, and I took the short yesterday right here at resistance. So far, that trade's profitable, and I'm looking for it to continue down. Looks like I'm getting alerts firing. Since that alert just went off, we'll look at that. This is that commodity, ag commodity coffee is what it is. And, you know, looking at about this 32, 38 level, I'm looking for an impulsive break above that to confirm some sort of a breakout. We have bullish divergence here on the daily, so and we have a bullish falling wedge. So bullish setup, just looking for the break of resistance, which I've got about 32, 38. So if that can break out, then, you know, potentially up here around 35, 40, it would be a profit target. Moving on. So you can see here, some of these already have the divergent high. So SQ right now is putting in a divergent high. We had this one clocked perfectly in the last, you know, we caught this entire move for the most part to the downside, and it doesn't look like much because I'm using log scaling, but it is a move of about 20%. So nice move down, and now it's impulsively moving higher. You can see we're putting in a new divergent high right now. So it needs to turn down, obviously, to create the to confirm the divergence. But if it does turn down anytime soon, this is a divergent high. What we'll watch for on this one is probably a break of this support line on the hourly right here. So there's your uptrend line. Maybe this wants to go a little higher and kind of work its way. And then when it breaks, we'll look for the larger move to the downside, because this is daily divergence. If it turns down and breaks this is daily divergence, which tells me that it's going to move all the way back down to about 135. And from where we're at right now, you know, we won't get it right here because we have to wait for the break, but it would be a move of about 28% or so. So we're watching for that one. Some of these have daily divergence. Peloton looks like it's going to do exactly the scenario that I had pointed out in the past, which is put in a negative daily divergence. We need a little bit higher prices. So I'm looking for it to move above this 139.44. If it does it soon, we're going to have negative daily divergence, something like this maybe. And that's what Peloton didn't have in the past. So the reason why I liked it for a trade down to the trend line, because we had negative divergence on the hourly chart, and we got that. There's your move down to the trend line. That was a trade of about, you know, it's roughly 20% gain. But we didn't have it on the daily chart. Now, if we go a little bit higher and then start to turn down, we'll have it on the daily, telling me that, you know, at some point, this trend line, this upward trend line, it's going to break. And when it breaks, that's going to set up the bigger move, basically, the longer term swing trade move that should come with some nice gains. So I'm going to watch for that one. I'll keep you guys posted on that. This GPS, I'm watching for this one. If it turns down, continues to turn down, we're going to continue to keep the negative divergence. If it keeps going higher, it's going to burn through it. But I suspect it'll turn down. We're waiting for this trend line to break, though. Right here's your trend line. The trend line's got to go. When the trend line goes, that's going to set us up for a trade, probably at least down to 1556. So I'm watching for that one. Run. Did I cover this one? It's right there at resistance. So this one is back testing, and it should continue to break. I'm looking for 3650. Actually, I think I covered this one already. Oil stocks. So these I'm bullish on right now. They're okay. You know, they haven't broken higher yet. They haven't broken down either. They've just gone flat, basically. So I'm going to hold it and see what it wants to do. We've got bullish setups. You've got bullish divergence here on the daily chart, on XOM. I'm seeing it on CVX. I'm seeing it on a lot of these oil stocks. XLE has, which is the energy sector ETF, has bullish divergence. So it's there. There's bullish setups. It just hasn't broken yet. We need a catalyst. So, you know, we'll probably get one. The charts tell me these things are going higher. And we'll wrap up with this tan. This one looks like it's setting up for a potential pretty good short. Obviously, it's had a huge run off the bottom. of the March lows. You know, this run here is a run of about, what is this run? 200 something percent, 250%. But looks like we're starting to run out of steam. Big negative divergence here on the daily chart. And we're just putting in a new marginal high. So slightly new high anytime soon. That's going to be a divergent high. Most likely will fade. And we have this trend line. It's all the way down here. So what I'll do is we're going to watch this one. If we put in that new divergent high on the daily, then we'll see if I can't find it on the hourly and see if we can't make a move here on the hourly. Potentially something like this. It's pretty steep, but if we find the breakdown in the hourly, then most likely that's going to be good for a move down to the trend line, and then we watch for the break of the trend line. The trend line I think will go, but you know, we got to wait for that. And a move down to the trend line is 15-16%. So as of right now, it's still moving higher. Still hasn't put in that divergent high yet. I suspect it happens today. And I'll wrap up there, guys. So again, if you find some value in these, leave me a thumbs up. If you want to get the notifications that I make, hit the bell icon. That you should get notified when I post things on the community posts. And if you're interested in learning about how I trade the market and how I'm able to, you know, basically my strategy and what I do here, take my training course. It'll give you some skills that you'll be able to improve your trading and learn about the markets and how to use technical analysis. It should really help you. It's everything that I know, basically. So again, thank you. Catch you guys on the next one.